Hi, I'm Candace. Today I wanted to talk about my experience I had with an ectopic pregnancy. Um, I know I've come on here before and I talked about the fact that I was diagnosed with an ectopic pregnancy, but I just wanted to come back and talk about what's happened since then. As of today, December the 2nd, 2024, I am now ectopic pregnancy free. When I found out that I had an ectopic pregnancy, I opted to get the injection, which is with, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm sorry, methotrexate or methotrexine. And what it does is it dissolves the pregnancy, and you have to wait until your HCG levels go down to zero or close to zero, under 5 mLs, before you can be considered pregnancy free or ectopic pregnancy free. And so today was the first day that my HCG levels in my blood work tested under 5 mLs. So I'm ectopic pregnancy free as of today. And I thank God. It's been a very long journey. I first was diagnosed with ectopic pregnancy December the 8th. I'm not December the 8th, October the 8th. And we, my husband and I, had been going back and forth to the hospital, to the emergency room, because I had been bleeding and spotting, and I knew I was pregnant since September the 17th, but something wasn't right. Every time I got an ultrasound, they didn't find a baby in the uterus, but my HCG levels kept rising. After about 5 or 6 ultrasounds, they finally found a embryo outside of the uterus, and so in the fallopian tubes. And so that's when I was diagnosed. October the 10th was the 8th was the day I was diagnosed with an ectopic pregnancy, but they had suspected it a couple of ultrasounds before, but they couldn't confirm it because the pregnancy was still early on, and they were saying that the embryo wasn't developing like a normal. The numbers should have been doubling, but they weren't doubling every couple of days. They were doubling maybe every week. And so at this point, it had been about 4 weeks since I had been spotted, 4 to 6 weeks. And so they could finally see the embryo. And so that's when I first got the shot. And since then, I've been going to doctor's appointments every week and getting blood tests every week until the numbers go down. The HCG levels went down. And so, something that I wasn't told when I first started, after I got the shot, what I was told not to take prenatal vitamins because folic acid and folate stops the methotrexate or methotrexate from working. But something that my doctor didn't tell me was to not eat any leafy greens, any eggs, beans, anything with folate in it, because it will slow down the effect or stop the effect of this injection. And so, of course, I try to eat healthy. So I eat a lot of vegetables. I eat a lot of fruits, and I eat a good amount of eggs. And so I didn't know that it was slowing the injection down. I did some research on my own because one week when I got a blood work, it seemed like it had slowed, and I started freaking out because if it had slowed down to the point where it stopped going down, the HCG levels stopped going down, I would have to get a second injection. That's something I didn't want. The first injection, it wasn't terrible, but it was bad. I was out for a couple of days. I couldn't sit. I couldn't stand. I couldn't move around. I felt really sick. Um, and so I didn't want to do it again. And plus, I didn't want to miss any more work. I had to take a week off of work that first time, and I didn't want to do that again. And so I ended up doing my own research, and I found out that anything with folate in it can cause it to slow down. So when I went back to my doctor that following week, she told me that, oh, yes, don't eat anything that has folate in it. And then she had a whole list of things for me not to eat. So I just want to tell anybody that's going through this process, or if you will, because something like this, you never know when it's going to happen. So it's good to know about it just in case it ever does. Not saying that it ever will, but just in case it does. To not eat any type of leafy green vegetables, or any type of vegetables, and do your research. Whatever is high in folate, stay away from it. If you want to get through this and without a second injection, stay away from it. I am glad that I got the injection, only because my only other option was surgery to remove my fallopian tube, and I did not want that. But I just thank God that the process is finally over. It took almost, today is December the 2nd, and I got the injection October the 8th. So it took almost a whole full 2 months for everything, for the whole process to happen. And that was 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks before I even knew what was going on. So this whole journey, well, let me see, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks. This whole journey has been a hard one, but I thank God that He got me through it. And like I said, that's all I wanted to come on here and talk about today. If you're going through anything in your life, I ask you, I beg you to find someone to talk to about it. And never go through anything alone, and never feel like you have to go through anything alone. And as always, remember that God loves you. Take care and be blessed.